Welcome Dino fans and horror fans. Thanks for joining me on Frag Hero today for an in-depth preview of Deathground, your next favourite dinosaur game. Today I'm going to show off as much pre-alpha gameplay footage as I could physically get my hands on, along with a few words at the end from head of studio Dan Rocha. Deathground's name gives you a little hint at its genre. It's a survival horror game that will have your heart rate rising like the alien is about to pop its head around the corner at any moment. If you know, you know. It's basically a suicide mission going to the Deathground to retrieve some very valuable gear. The areas become overrun with deadly dinosaurs, so you depend upon either your solo survival skills or up to 2 other players having your back. You're a professional hunter and survivalist, but are you willing to actually test those skills in practice to see who prevails, you or the deadly AI dinosaurs? Moments in this game are tense and full of trepidation as you peer around corners with eyes glued to your heartbeat sensor, hoping you're not about to face off with a prehistoric beast. Time is short though, as it's a race to see if you can track down the loot before the dinosaur hunts you down. Random extraction points and objectives will pop up in response to situations you face, but that doesn't guarantee your safety. As you'd expect from a proper horror, your ammo is in short supply, but do you even want to shoot when the noise will only alert dinosaurs to your location? The weather will also fight you to create unpredictable gameplay moments and heighten that sense of horror. That's if you're in the jungle though, or other outdoor map spots. The warehouse map brings its own creepy cons. The character class system means you really have to think carefully about who you play as and with, because skills, speciality traits and tools will clash or harmonise depending on your strategy, so the character class system is orthogonal. You've got an engineer, scout and hunter class to pick from. Here are just a couple images that I've pulled from the Kickstarter project showing off each character in more detail. And another thing to note is that you need to keep your eyes on the ground when you spawn, because you need to pick up and craft items in order to survive. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do give me a little like and maybe even a subscribe. The idea for the game comes from Jaw Drop Games' fascination with dinosaurs, and they hope that Deathground does in fact satisfy your craving for a survival dinosaur game. Deathground's currently live as a Kickstarter project with 5 days left to go, but it's already amassed a whopping 98.5k in funding, so completely smashing that target of 80 grand out the park, way before the deadline. I think it was with around 14 days left that the target had already been met, so you know that there's definitely a ton of gamers hungry for a new dinosaur game, especially seeing as the Dino Crisis series seems to have become extinct. Over 3,000 people have pledged support for this game, so that's over 3,000 individual backers. They're still pushing though to hit their stretch goal of 100 to 127k, so if you can help them get there, you'll have an even better game because they'll be able to add a new dinosaur type
called Allosaurus. Allosaurus? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I personally just fell in love with this game and the team behind it instantly, and what an amazing thing to be offering such exciting reward packs to people who pledged funds to the Kickstarter. It's overwhelming to see the variety of reward packs available, with one person even pledging between £4,000 and £8,000 for the second to best reward pack. The top one's like 8k. This is just insane, and Deathground is definitely going to be huge. Anyway, the team behind Deathground have got a stellar AAA background, having worked on loads of games before, and most notably for me that's RuneScape and Dirt 5. Their current focus is to get the PC version polished off before even thinking about consoles and ranked play, but it's nice to know that there are other things on the horizon. And for those of you who love the little details, Deathground's got its own original soundtrack just to add to the terrifying experience, with a haunting music score by BAFTA-nominated composer. Enough from me though, let's hear a bit from Jaw Drop Games themselves. I spoke with Dan Rocha, studio head at Jaw Drop Games. Dan, can you describe Deathground in 3 words?
Terror, teamwork, emergence.
Did you expect this game to be as popular as it has been and hit its Kickstarter target so far in advance?
We did think there would be an audience for it, but we weren't really expecting such a response so quickly. We're really humbled and excited about where things can go now.
Are there any dino games or films you've drawn inspiration from, like Dino Crisis, Turok, Ark, Jurassic Park?
Dino Crisis and Jurassic Park are huge inspirations, of course, but you can also see that non-dinosaur titles like Alien Isolation, Left 4 Dead and Dead by Daylight can also enter the mix and help keep the gameplay fresh too.
Which dinosaur would you say is the worst to come up against in the game, and which one's your favourite?
It's not really a case of it being worst, because the game is designed in a way where there will be different types of challenges and terrors. For example, the scale of the T-Rex is terrifying, and the chance to simulate what that feels like with modern graphics, AI and animation is incredibly exciting. But at the same time, the T-Rex is limited by its size in some ways. Perhaps the Compsognathus, smaller dinosaurs that can follow you into crawl spaces and swarm you might actually be more terrifying. We're really blown away by how quickly a community has come together around the game, and are super grateful for everyone's support. We're very excited to be working on the project, and just can't wait to hunker down into full development.
Okay, thank you Dan Rocha for joining me. That's everything you need to know about Deathground. So 3 maps, 2 dinos, 3 class systems, co-op, peer-to-peer matching and a whole ton of terror. The closed beta is coming in Q3 2021, so that's like literally just 1 year away, with early access release towards the end of that season. Q2 2022, that's a lot of twos, is when shit gets real though, as that's when the game is planned to be released. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please leave me a like and maybe even a comment if you're excited for Deathground. Thanks for watching, see you next time on Frag Hero.